my job not to let him take her food.
No, no. Hey, great training.
Hey everyone, Nate with Nate Dog Training. We're here on day 4 with Prescott, and I'm about to show you my little, before I feed him, I do a little swiffering and just talk to you about why I'm doing my tethering still. And if this dog was going to stay with me for life, it'd just take a few weeks to a month or so, and then that leash would be gone. I want to show you what to do when you're feeding dogs. When you have a new dog home with your existing dogs, what you should be doing when you feed them. You don't need to separate everybody if you do it right, but if you don't have the control I do, then you can't do stuff like this. But I'll show you when we feed them how I'm using a leash. It also, the whole point of my training is controlling the leash, the movement in the house, and the barking. And I'm telling you, you get a therapy dog without the cost. And what that's doing is this is teaching them to rest while I do this everyday life stuff where I don't need a dog to Velcro me or obsess everywhere I go. It's just making them crazy, and it's making me crazy too in a way. So I just want you to see that this is the greatest thing you can do for a dog, is to help them relax. So I'm going to do my quick Swiffer, and I want you to see if Prescott, the blue heeler there, tries to get up and look in here. You know, sometimes if he wasn't tethered, he would be following me. He would have followed me last night, yesterday, all these days. The first 36 hours, of course, he didn't. You know, he didn't trust me. He didn't want anything to do with me. So he kind of would just stay in that corner and just not get up or, you know, kind of avoid. But I would just walk right by him. You know, I would just walk right by him. So now he's getting up and wants to follow me. Now he trusts me, and as you saw, each day that goes by, it happens so quick when you do it right. And so he's now wants to be where Dad's going, but that would create separation anxiety. If I didn't teach him to rest, and if he got up every time I moved around, oh, forget it. It wouldn't take long to have separation anxiety kicking in, and forget it. And then it's a whole nother ball game of fixing that. But that doesn't happen when you do stuff like this, because you can see my other 4 don't care. The golden doodle, Leonard, he's been with me for over a year now. He was the owner surrender at 6 months old for being a hype. And yeah, it took him only about a month before he never needed a leash. And I run the same system as any dog that I bring home, you know, the same thing. I do the exact same thing every time. It's literally in the book. I do exactly what my book is, and I get the exact same results. I get well-behaved dogs that could do anything you want, any service you want, any therapy if you want, anything. Even rescue dogs can do a ton of stuff, especially therapy dog. But you have to be their parent, the higher brain. You have to make sure that they trust you. Even the Swiffer, you know. They don't love it, but they all put up with it. This one's not as bad as running a vacuum, but they would still put up with it. And that's what I ask them to do. It's just a Swiffer. But they know this right here represents, they always eat after I do this. So this is just now the waiting. The Tom Petty song, The Waiting, is the hardest part. Should be playing right now. So the good news is, so he's been with me 4 days, but he would be following me all over if he wasn't tethered. But as the weeks go by, the tethering goes away, and they learn and get conditioned what they're supposed to do when you do your chores. It should rest when I cook, rest when I clean, rest when I'm working, rest when I'm whatever I'm doing, and I'll let you know when it's time to cuddle, when it's time to play, when it's time to walk. You know, that's what the dog should be. It's a 2-year-old child mentally, so you should be in full control of that. So I'm over here, like, this would be, imagine a dog following me, shadowing me everywhere I went. You know, it would be I wouldn't get much accomplished. I'd keep tripping over him. So, and they all trust this. Even he likes this. He doesn't even care about it. The Swiffer pad. Because it really is nothing. All right. Now I can give him some love before I feed him, and you'll see a little jealousy boy. Yeah, see, they really probably would be like, what's he doing? I want, yes. Yeah, I want food. Yes. I want food. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So you can see, look at what the dog who didn't trust me, 2 days ago. Now I could pretty much do anything I want, even though there's the mouth, the biting, like play biting, like, oh, never even worry. But absolutely. 3 days ago, I could have gotten bit if you tried to do anything like this because I didn't have the trust yet. So I wouldn't have blamed the dog. Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. Right, Leonard? We wouldn't blame him. Yeah, I need more hands. Yeah. Yeah. But I can tell you this, they really want to eat. They're probably like, please, you never do this. You do this after we eat. So now I'll go through the ritual of feeding them. And again, everybody gives space. This is just here because of Prescott's here. So I go through my little ritual here of feeding them and asking the dogs. I mean, they would stay back even without this, but I don't mind leaving that open. I don't mind where he's at. I mean, this is just this little spot of his. I'm just gonna get rid of this. This is just for him not to try to go downstairs, but I probably don't need it at this point. It was just the beginning of the relationship. If you go back and look at the videos I had, it extended all the way down in front of the couch because he was looking to try to get out of here. So you could see him trying to look up. And if that wasn't there, I could almost bet money he would try to come right over here. And that would be just very dangerous. So luckily, I just, so it only took 2 days to get rid of half the playpen. Now I probably wouldn't even need that at this point, but I'll still probably leave it up for a couple more days. And I don't mind where he's at. He's not being, this isn't bad. It's respectful still. I wouldn't let him come any closer though than that because then it would get a little bit too into my space while I'm trying to prepare all this. Yeah, so it's what the leash is doing, I'll talk about that. What the leash is doing is really just setting him up not to fail, right? So when I release him to eat, it's really setting him up to fail if I didn't have a leash on, especially if they're fast eaters. Some of them have slow feeders, bowls, and if he didn't have that, he could easily eat real quick. I've seen him eat real quick just to try to go over and steal other dogs' food. And that's unacceptable on many levels, but a lot of it's unacceptable because everybody has their food, but also it can lead to a major fight. And that's something that as a parent, we're supposed to control all that stuff. We're not letting our kids fist fight over chicken wings. I hope you don't. So it's the same thing with the dog. They can't make the greatest choices, especially when you set them up with food in this type of situation. Also being a parent, being the leader, whatever you want to call it, it's just much easier. There's just a lot of respect that they give you and they just understand what they're supposed to do. All right, who am I missing? Yeah. So the leash is always gone. It wouldn't take more than weeks to a month to get rid of that leash for life. That's the beauty of a leash, right? It's just temporary until you get what you need, which is rest over here while I do this, rest here. And as life goes on, who cares? I don't care if you have them on furniture down the road. Right now I don't personally, but I wouldn't care if you laid here while you do your chores. It doesn't have to be here. It's just the living room while I do whatever I want, upstairs, downstairs, around. If I forgot something upstairs, I don't want my dogs to worry about following me up or running upstairs just to come back down and go where they were, which was sleeping. I tell a lot of large breed dog owners, if you have the big boys, the big girls, think about bigger dogs getting up and down unnecessarily throughout the day. If you eliminated a lot of that because it's unnecessary, it could be 15, 20 times a day they're probably getting up. Do that math, times 7. Even if it was 10 times, every week would be 70, right? Almost 300, 280, 300 times a year that you could stop a dog getting up unnecessarily. Or a month, right? Yeah, a month. And just do that year. I mean, it's just ridiculous how you could save their joints. You could extend the life in a sense just for that if you needed to. But so it's all to help them make great decisions, which is I'll let you know what to do. And I'll set you up not to fail by putting all these little things in here. Got one dog with the allergy and we're good. All right. All right, so now put everybody down. I don't care if they sit, stand, or lay. All I want my dogs to do is be calm and be waiting. Yeah, and this is Royal Canin dry, and I promise you, they think they've never eaten a day in their life. This is like prime USDA. This is chicken, but they're just as happy on this, I promise. And it gives them every nutrient, everything they need. So I'm going to give Prescott's food last because he'll probably delve into it before I release him. I don't have that relationship yet. So there's that. And then I'll bring his over here. I just need one thing. That. And then here's where I can put back on my little tether. This is just what I do, but you could use a dumbbell, you could use a kettlebell, you could use something, but this is the back of the door, and then I can just close that. In there. And then I put down the bib for the little dog because she takes the pieces out and puts it on the floor. She's a real fine dining type gal. All right, so here we go. Now we party. All right. Okay. And now we eat. And the only one you can't see would be Bridget. She's down below there. I'll show you. So she's having her little dinner. So now everybody eats and I just do my thing, right? I can walk around the house, do what I need. I know it only takes about less than 2 minutes for all the dogs except the little one, right? It's going to take longer. So I'll disappear, right? If I had a newer dog, there's no way I'd be in here. I'd probably be out here supervising. I already have trust with him, but I might have to sit out here and supervise, right? If that was the case, because I want to make sure that nobody makes a bad choice if they try to come over here and take. It really would only be Tay or Leonard's food. Leonard wouldn't do anything. He'd let her take it. Tay, no way. Before I got her, she's turned in twice for being very dominant, so she's not going to let some dog, which who can blame her? So it's my job not to let them take her food because they're my kids, so I got to control all that. Yeah, so yeah, it's a wonderful experience for everybody. Nobody gets, there's just no drama the more that you control everything. And this is the life, there's nothing else to do. They're not doing anything else. They're not reading, writing, they're not working out. They don't need to go downstairs and see what's happening. I don't need them patrolling my yard. I don't need them patrolling my house. So all that does is lead, excuse me, all that does lead to stress, frustration, anxiety, and aggression can be an outcome. All in the name of, they just think that you're letting them worry about things in everyday life that they shouldn't. Right? They shouldn't worry about neighbors, UPS. They shouldn't worry about people walking by your house. Shouldn't worry about car alarms, somebody locking their doors. But none of that. That's silly. So the more you control, the more freedom you actually get. And they get the most freedom mentally. You get I call it rescue the mind. They get to live like a 2-year-old child should. What 2-year-old child should ever live with any stress, frustration? Right, so a 2-year-old child should worry about G.I. Joes or Barbie or, right, crayons and coloring books or just nothing. It shouldn't be a dog that's stressed out like they live on Wall Street or that they have some financial hardships and, right, with mortgage and car payments and right, so they don't. It's up to us to make sure. But boy, do they live like it with a lot of people. Most of my clients, that's pretty much what I deal with every day for the last almost 20 years. It's the same story. Same story every day. As you're letting them do these 3 things that make them think they're in charge. It gives them power, and that's a loaded weapon given to a 2-year-old child with mentality. So then you see what I see, the stress, the dogs that react out, the dogs that are skittish, afraid, or super dominant and assertive. All bad though, it's no fun for anybody. So yeah, everybody's had their food and water. You can see him checking it out, you know. He's a cute kid. Very cute. Prescott, you're a very kid. You're a cute kid. Yeah, you're a cute kid. So are you, Jolly. Yeah, you're a good girl too. You're all great. Yes, you're all great. Whoa, you burped. What was that? It's burping a baby. It's burping a baby. Yeah. Yeah, so not bad, huh? That's pretty fun. When you have this kind of control, it could be 10 dogs. You know, it wouldn't matter. To me, 10 is like having one because I don't even have to hold the leashes, except on the newer one, but the rest are just tethered off, or I can honestly walk around with no leashes anywhere I want to go. The loyalty is so strong when you make them feel so safe and secure. Remember, all these return-ins, right? All of them. He was picked up, I think they got it from a breeder, a backyard breeder for sure, 3 months old. Yes, yeah. So, came, you know, he was already barking and lunging and growling at everything at 3 months old, which is completely unnatural. So, he had a bad start to his life, yeah. And then, you know, the people were trying, oh yeah, but, you know, they just didn't know even that first month and how bad it is, right, of how much these little characters know if we know what we're doing too, so, yeah. Now I got to go pet everybody too, right? This is the problem when you have 5 dogs or 4 or whatever, 3, you got to be equal opportunity lover. Right, you little goof? That's right. So there's jealousy on Leonard. You know, I noticed when I brought him in, you could tell everybody gets, it's just what it is. Everybody gets jealous. So yeah, now I got to do the rounds and do the love. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. He gets jealous too. Watch. He's going to come over. There he is. Yeah. Oh, there he is. Oh, yes. Yeah, he's been warming up to these guys trying to play. Yeah, he has. No. Hey, great training. So I'll have to slow this down and show it. Right there. So he was looking at her bowl. I've had her at 9 years. She's 12. And I can't wait to slow that down. She's still doing it. No. So she thought he's going to go over and she was going to let him know. So, hey, look at the control I have, the off-leash privileges, everything I have, but there's still, that's what I mean. Food can bring out the worst in them, so you better be in control. So that'll be good to show. And I don't want that, though. I don't need her telling it. There's a look to me. Yeah. You don't have to worry, old goat. So then I pick it up anyways. Even if he wasn't here, I still pick up all my dog's bowls. I'm not looking for anybody to think they can go around and check on everybody's or be the finisher. You know, no thanks. Yes. Bridget's still eating, so we'll end it on that. I hope that helped you guys, and you can see where I'm at on day 4 with a dog who I had no relationship with, wasn't sure what was going to happen. I left the leash on pretty much 24 hours because I wasn't sure if I could even get, you know, touch him, which I couldn't. So I just was, he had to, you know, he had no choice but to follow me around. I had these 4 to help me, but you could see right there with the petting and all the things I can do now. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. You're an amazing kid. Yeah, so love you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you soon. Day 5 tomorrow. Right, girl? That's right.